My name is Ashley Congdon. This is my outline. These are my note cards. Visual aid. My audience. Our safety of our loved ones is first priority over everything. With recent headline news, I think it's safe to say that nowhere is safe. I will tell you why it's important to protect your family. Land of the free and home of the brave. These are the words us Americans live by every day. But do we fully understand what it means? Freedom is not free. Our military and police men and women fight for our freedom every day, 24 hours a day. It would be a shame if they are unable to protect their families due to not being able to carry a gun at home. According to the article, A Factual Look at Guns in America, How Guns Are Being Used by Citizens Every Year, guns used 80 times more often to protect a life than to save one. There are 270 million Americans legally owning guns. 200,000 times a year, women use a gun to defend themselves in sexual abuse. And a poll found that 3 out of 5 felons are most likely to unharm a armed victim. I want to start off by saying that I lost a friend to gun violence in school. She was at the wrong place at the wrong time, 19 years old and gone too soon. And I had another friend whose child's father was shot in the head and killed at 17. I know that it's dangerous, guns are dangerous, and it's scary, but this hasn't changed my views on guns. If anything, I'm more for guns. I am a single mother to a young little girl, and I feel being able to protect her is extremely important. I've had enough experience and been around guns where I feel comfortable if I was ever put in a situation. Today I'm going to persuade you about why you should keep your guns and why you should own a gun, and the actions you can take to support gun laws. First, let me explain why the Second Amendment is so important. Congressman Paul Kosler from the 4th District in Arizona said, "The Obama administration has taken unprecedented steps to bypass Congress and infringe upon the Second Amendment of the rights of the United States citizens." He also stated that gun violence is committed by criminals, yet the focus is on executive order is on the rights of law-abiding citizens. The preceding information was published on Congressman Paul Kosler's website. It's our right to bear arms, and it's a unique and fundamental aspect of American liberty, because when we use it correctly, we can make the world a safer place. The government seems to think the way to increase safety in America is to take away our guns. I believe we should use law-abiding citizens who obey the law so that they can remain first in line of defense against violence. America will become better equipped to handle potential tragedies as they become. According to Mass Shootings, Part of Americans' Gun Violence Problem by Sarah Forrestine and Sarah Cliff, and the most non-suicidal, the most deaths is 33,636 deaths. Now, 21,175 of those deaths are suicidal, and the remaining are homicidals. Virginia Tech, Newton, Connecticut, Charleston, South Carolina, and Chattanooga, what did they all have in common? They were all in a gun-free zone. If you had a gun on you, you could have maybe not saved everyone's life, but saved one. Thankfully, our rights to bear arms have yet to been taken away. The needs for Americans to have guns is so important, not only for ourselves, but for the safety of our friends and family. Supporting our gun rights is our rights as Americans to this great nation. The National Association for Gun Rights has led the charge to halt the radical anti-gun agenda across the nation. You can become a member for $35 a year, $1,000 lifetime by emailing or sending in the mail. They don't endorse political candidates either. The NRA, also known as the National Rifle Association, is a proud supporter of gun rights. A 1-year membership is $40 and a 2-year membership is $75. They offer 24/7 defense for you and your firearms. They also insure you and your firearms as well. They host special events and dinners. It's a great organization to be a part of. And for the first time in over decades, there has been more support for gun rights than ever. Currently, 52% say it's more important to protect the right of Americans who own guns, and then 46% say it's more important to protect gun control rights, ownership. And then in 1982, Kenshaw City Council unanimously passed a law requiring all head of households to be owning a gun with a ammunition as well. And before the law passed, people all over the nation were saying how violence was going to increase and go up. However, it was not the case at all. J.O. Stevenson, who was a former city council member then, he said that the crime caused the rate to plunge. And the Kensal Historical Society president, Robert Jones, said following the law's passage, the crime rate dropped 89% as well as 10% statewide. Lowest crime rate of any city their size. This information came from gun ownership in the Kenshaw law. Gun massacres are most used with legal gun weapons. According to Mother Jones, there were more than 70 mass shootings in the 30-year span. About 3/4 of guns used in those were obtained legally. But pro-gun advocates believe together gun laws could have been prevented these crimes. Background checks would help keep the guns out of people who shouldn't have them. And a wide-supported gun bans don't stop crime. It's going to happen no matter what. The federal assault weapons ban signed by President Bill Clinton in 1994 has expired and has not had enough support to be renewed. The NRA argues that research shows assault weapons or those of certain designated semi-automatic guns in the ban were never used in the mass than a small percentage of firearms related violent crime. This was written by Karen Reeder on Gun Control Pros and Cons, points on both sides of the debate. When are you going to step up and fight for your constitutional rights? Senator Marco Rubio interviewed on CBS this morning. He said the ban did not appear to affect gun crime during the time it was in effect, and that if we owned guns, we could have prevented some of the crime. And some commonly things that we hear would be that concealed carry doesn't prevent crimes. Well, in fact, the media shows many civilians helping with public crimes. Like a citizen took out a shooter while police were being pinned down in early Texas. There were citizens that stopped an apartment shootout in Oklahoma City. 2 men retrieved firearms from their guns while a mass shooting was happening at Alpecin Law School. And all that info was obtained on gunsfacts.info. Another common myth would be concealed carry permit holders shoot the police. And the fact is the Violence Police Center started listing instances of concealed carry holders shooting the police. In a 2.5-year span, records of about 9 police deaths. 3 of them were from a mass shooting of a white supremacist with an AK-47 rifle. And of the 5 of the 9 have yet to be tried or convicted. And the fact is that people with concealed weapons are 5 times less likely to be arrested for a nonviolent crime. And they are 13.5 times less likely to be arrested for a violent crime. And another common misinterpretation would be that they don't think that people need concealable weapons. Well, the fact is that 80% of gun defenses, the defendant used a concealable handgun. 1/4 of the gun defenses occurred outside the home. And this was all on gunfacts.com. Now let's take a look at the actions that you can take. President Barack Obama said, in addition to expanding and bolstering his background check systems to cover sales that can be taken place online or at other venues, the administration will provide mental health funding, treatment, FBI staff in the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosive Agents. House Speaker Paul Ryan, and he's a Republican from Wisconsin, chimed in and said, Obama's actions will no doubt be challenged in the courts and can be overturned by a Republican president. From day one, the president has never respected the rights of safe and legal gun ownership and our right as the valued since its founding. He knows full well that the law already says that people who make their living selling firearms must be licensed regardless of the venue. He'd still rather than focus on criminals and terrorists, he goes after the most law-abiding citizens. His words and actions amount to a form of intimidation that undermines liberty. This all came from Obama's executive action, new gun control orders. There are plenty of ways to take action. You can go on websites for gun activists, and there's a whole bunch of petitions. There's one on the nagr.org. It's a no gun control, no deal petition. MoveOn.org. There's another petition on there. Join a guns right group. I recommend the NRA. And some people may still be uneasy about guns in the home. And if you're still uncomfortable, at least learn how to use a gun. You never know when you're going to need the lessons or be in a situation. And we all are in the land of the free and the home of the brave. It is our American duty to protect our Second Amendment and fight for what is our right. Our founding fathers made this law because I believe that they knew people would want to jeopardize our freedom. And in closing, a quote by Adolf Hitler in 1933, "To conquer a nation, first disarm its citizens." And then I have some comments that were made after some of the shootings with gun control. So, gun-free zone, this is the shooter, and what he says is, "That should give me at least 20 minutes to shoot up the place. No one's going to pay attention to a guns-free zone." This one says, "Well, crap, I guess we'll just go home then. Darn those liberals and their weapon bans." This is a good one. This is a regular citizen before and after, and this is a criminal before and after. This is where the bomber hid in a boat, and here's all the residents that are unable to have guns. And that is it.